Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, guys, to another scout report. Today, we're back on the edge rushers for 2020, for the 2026 draft class, and we're talking about R. Mason Thomas. He's an edge rusher from Oklahoma, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about, do I think he's going to be top ended? So let's talk about him anyway. The games I saw, Mason Thomas. The games I scouted Mason Thomas were um, Texas, Kent State, Auburn, Illinois State, Michigan, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Now we're going to go into his first off his strengths, and you can see on tape here he has especially he's an elite. He has that elite pass rushing ability. He's probably one of the best pass rushers I've seen in the draft class so far. He possesses tremendous first step explosiveness and elite bend to get around the tackle. You can see it a lot of the times. If you've seen, there was plenty of games on tape where you could in Texas game, the Kent State game, stuff like that. Again, he verifies his hand technique as well, and you kind of like a ghost movement and to effectively create separation and disengages from blockers. So again, he's great with his hands, great hand movements. And again, what I've been saying a lot of the times, if you want to be a top end defensive player in this league, you've got to have versatility. You've got to make sure that you're defensively, you can do different parts of your game. You're not so one dimensional. And he's just high. He has a high versatility, and he can work as a stand-up rusher with speed, or you could turn him into a power rusher. It depends what kind of scheme he's going to be in, what defensive coordinator he's going to have. But again, there's two ways you can play him as a stand-up rusher or as a high-power edge rusher. Again, he's just so good, and he's got such a good motor about him that you could just plug and play him anywhere. I think that's just one of the good things. And his leverage is pretty good as well. Again, he's got a low, kind of a shorter frame that allows him to get under tackles as well. Cause he's a bit of a short guy, but he can still get under tackles and play a bit of nasty football, get at the offense. And again, especially if you look at some of these fourth quarter games, what I've talked about in the fourth quarter, that's where he was doing his best work in 2025. He has a remarkable bend, and a great flexion of allows him to flatten around the arc, and again he can still stay balanced while he's trying to make contact. Again, especially when he's in the fourth quarter. I talked about this just a few minutes ago, but again he's in the fourth quarter alone in 2024. This was 2 seasons ago. He had 6 sacks in the fourth quarter alone. Well, he had 6 of his 9 sacks in the fourth quarter were in the fourth quarter of 2024. Now that was just 2 seasons ago recently, but it's just how good he has been. And he's again very competitive, very quick on his feet. Just really a high end level edge rusher that has impressed. Then again, he's impressed me on tape. We're gonna go to his weaknesses here though. He is 6'2", which isn't bad. You're 6'2", 240 pounds, isn't bad. But he's got great hand movements, as I've talked before. His arm length is kind of short, 32 inches. Again, if he's up against a big blocker on the offensive line, that could be a huge problem, especially with the short arm kind of thing. And sometimes he might be able to fail to get to the runner, especially at the NFL level. He's okay doing it at college, but he's got short arms. He's 241. He could really get, I don't know, he could really avoid against elite level offensive tackles. Sometimes his run defensive, sometimes as a run defender can be a liability. Sometimes as a run defender you could see that on tape as well, where sometimes he's inconsistent as a shred blocker, and sometimes he'll make him a liability to holding the edge against the run. So again, if he's up against an elite level offensive weapon on the field, sometimes again if you're trying to do the shred blocking thing, his run defenses can be a bit of a liability in that area. Again, he had a bit of a big injury history from like, he's had a bit of injury history in college. He had a kind of a big ankle injury in 2024, where he's had an injury history, like he's had an ankle injury, a sprained ankle, and he's had a torn quad. Shout out to Kevin Nash, and a hamstring. Which sometimes, again, he had a bit of injury, especially early on in his career. I think he's only like 21, 22, super young, and he's had this amount of injuries in college as well. And I know you're an edge rusher, you're going to get, but especially at that level, you're having like a sprained ankle, and you're having the tissue tear, and you're having the quads and the hamstrings, and again, that is probably going to put his draft value down a bit, in my opinion. He's undersized as well. He's going to probably put him down a bit. Sometimes, again, a taller tackle is a taller tackle is just going to have their day with Mason Thomas. But ultimately, I do think he's one of those guys that you definitely are going to see. Probably a day 3 pick for me. I don't think he's a day 1 pick. He's going to be absolutely probably a day 3 pick, where you would have him in there and just as a rotation option, as a just have him on the roster for depth, and that's just it. I wouldn't have him be a starter because, again, he's great. He's a elite pass rusher, but he's as a run defender, sometimes it can be a liability. Injury history, I don't think it's going to be. That's going to be one thing that they're going to like, can this guy stay healthy for 17 games a season? Is limited in coverage utility as well. So he's not been playing much in the special teams as much, so that's kind of a thing that you're going to be looking at. But ultimately, I do see Mason Thomas being like a day 3 pick, maybe day 4, maybe very late on. I don't see him being a top pick in the first round or second round. It's just day 3 at best. But yeah, again, if you've seen him, tell me in the comments, and hype up the video, guys, and I'll be back soon for another video. And I'll have another video. I'm going to have a Lions video current soon anyway, because we've done some stuff in the offseason I want to talk about. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.